Tensions are running high after a terrorist attack on foreign tourists in Pahalgam, in Indian-administered Kashmir. India's leaders immediately blamed militants backed by Pakistan, while Islamabad flatly denied involvement. Pakistan's prime minister said his country was open to participating in any neutral, transparent and credible investigation into the April 22 attack. New Delhi, however, accused Islamabad of supporting cross-border terrorism and circulated wanted posters for suspected Pakistan-based gunmen. In the aftermath, Indian and Pakistani troops traded gunfire across the line of control for several consecutive nights. The latest violence, the worst civilian attack in Kashmir in decades, has sharply escalated the long-running Kashmir conflict and further strained India-Pakistan tensions. On the diplomatic front, Pakistan has publicly invited a joint inquiry. Islamabad reiterated that it denies any role in the killings, and has urged a neutral, transparent and credible investigation. China, a key ally of Pakistan, endorsed this call. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi said Beijing was closely following the situation and supported the prompt initiation of an impartial investigation, urging both sides to exercise restraint. This China-Kashmir stance aligns with Beijing's usual backing of Pakistan on Kashmir issues. The United States, meanwhile, has appealed for calm. Washington publicly condemned the Pahalgam attack and reiterated India's right to fight terrorism, but stopped short of denouncing Pakistan. In a statement, a U.S. State Department spokesperson said the U.S. was in touch with the governments of India and Pakistan and urges all parties to work together towards a responsible resolution. India is now seen as a vital U.S. partner against China's regional influence, whereas Pakistan's importance has waned since the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. Some analysts note, however, that with America deeply engaged in conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza, Washington may have limited bandwidth to intervene in South Asia. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken a hard line. He vowed to hunt the attackers to the ends of the earth and punish every terrorist and their backers, speaking defiantly in the wake of the assault. India even conducted naval missile drills and said its troops returned small arms fire after Pakistani posts allegedly fired on Indian positions. Calls in India for a military retaliation grew louder, though the risks of a broader war are huge. Critically, New Delhi announced it was suspending the 1960 Indus Water Treaty, a United Nations brokered agreement that governs shared river flows between the neighbors. This treaty is the lifeline of Pakistani agriculture. It guarantees water for about 80% of Pakistan's irrigated farms. India said it would halt its obligations until Pakistan credibly and irrevocably abjures its support for cross-border terrorism. Pakistan's government responded by warning that any attempt to cut or divert the Indus would be considered an act of war. Many Pakistani farmers voiced panic. If India stops water, all of this will turn into the Thar Desert. We'll die of hunger, one farmer said. The region is already facing drought and erratic rains. Experts note that India has limited reservoir capacity on those rivers, so the flows won't drop immediately. But within months, it could begin diverting water via new canals or dams. New Delhi has already stopped sharing water flow data and flood warnings with Islamabad, which is, intensifying fears that water is being weaponized. In Pakistan, officials describe the Indus Treaty as the backbone of their economy and agriculture, warning that the suspension puts their farming future in jeopardy. The break in the Indus Water Sharing Pact has raised broader security concerns in South Asia. Analysts point out that if India can suspend a water treaty unilaterally, it sets a worrying precedent. China, which controls the Brahmaputra, another Himalayan river flowing into India, might similarly feel justified to limit India's share of that water. The Brahmaputra provides about 30% of India's fresh water and almost half its hydropower potential. In fact, Beijing has for years been building major dams upstream, and commentators warn it could cite India's move as cover for further restrictions. Such a tit-for-tat over rivers would, honestly, further strain South Asia's security at a time of climate stress. Many experts emphasize the stakes. The Kashmir issue now involves two nuclear-armed rivals plus China, all confronting potential water shortages. Climate change is shrinking Himalayan glaciers and making monsoons less reliable, increasing the risk of floods and droughts. In this tinderbox, analysts say only a political, negotiated solution, not escalation, can prevent catastrophe. They urge India, Pakistan and China to return to diplomacy. Resolving shared concerns over water and terrorism is crucial as the effects of climate change deepen, and as, any conflict risks nuclear confrontation. Sources: Reuters reporting on South Asia, Al Jazeera and AFP accounts, The Diplomat on water risks, Economic Times and Reuters analyses.